Alright everyone, welcome back to the Wilderness Off-Road channel. Now today, before getting started, I do want to mention I'm using a new accessory for filming, and that is a mic. So let me know if the audio is any better or worse than my last videos. That would be much appreciated. I got fed up with my audio and hopefully this helped in the meantime. So today we're installing a new hitch on the Outback. If you noticed before, I do have one that is a 1.25" Subaru hitch. And I wanted an upgrade to a 2-inch receiver. 2-inch receiver is going to allow me to add a lot more accessories to the vehicle and also allow me a higher tongue weight, which is what I'm really going for. The hitch here is the EcoHitch made by Torque Lift Central. It is made in the USA, so that is a bonus. The hitch has a 525-pound tongue weight limit and a 3,500-pound towing limit. So that will definitely be enough for me. I don't think I would even ever come close to 3,500 pounds, not even 3,000 pounds. To me, it's a little much for Subaru. I'm sure it could do it. Trailer brakes would be a bonus though if you're gonna go close to that weight. So it comes with the hitch, as you can see here. It also has instructions, a little bit of a trim covering for where you have to cut out your bumper on the bottom, and 8 new nuts there for mounting. So we'll go through the process of taking the bumper off, which is also going to include taking the lights off. Now, kind of a downside for me, I'm going to have to take my rear tires off as well to take off the rock blocks, mud flaps. There's not enough room for me to get a tool in there with the tires on, so we'll take those off, get the rock block unbolted or unscrewed, and then we'll be able to take off the bumper. And then you simply put this in the place of the old hitch and just reverse the process, put the bumper on, and you're good to go. So let's just hop right into getting the bumper off. I'll show you some of the areas on where you have to take the tabs off and how to take the lights off. But other than that, this really should be a pretty simple install. Let's hop right into it. All right, so I got the wheels off and I have unscrewed just this side of the rock blocks to be able to get this bumper completely off. Then I went and, let's see if I can get under here. I went and took out all these tabs that run along the side. There's 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. And now we'll work on taking out these lights. So you got to disconnect them from here and they should just pop out, and then the bumper just comes right off. All right, so the next step I did was take off these covers here and then use a 10mm socket to remove these 3. These were bolts and this was like a screw with a 10mm top. Just like that, and on both sides. Now we'll remove this light. Since the bumper kind of goes up and under, we have to remove this. Kind of a bummer, but that's all right. So we'll remove that. We have to take the light bulbs out because they're all just kind of in there, otherwise the light would be hanging. So we'll take those out, the light will come off. All the other pins, like I just mentioned, are out from underneath, so the bumper should be able to just pop right off now. All right guys, so the bumper is now off. At this point you would be taking off the crash bar, and it's kind of concerning, little interesting. This is a stock Subaru OEM hitch that was put on by the previous owner, and I guess they didn't put the crash bar back on. I don't know, it's been a while, but so I do not have a crash bar. You would take that off and then the hitch, but well, there isn't one, so it is what it is, I guess. Maybe in the future I'll buy one for my safety, but I guess the hitch is there, kind of acts like a crash bar, except it probably doesn't crunch as easily like they're supposed to. But either way, we move on. We will undo the 4 bolts on each side. Hitch will fall off, pop the new one on, bolt it up, and then put the bumper back on. Now you may be curious why my bumper is just kind of hanging off to the side here. Because of my rock light, I had to kind of leave the bumper hanging there. I can't take the rock lights all the way off. The wires are ran all the way up front, and so the wheel's holding up one side because this wire is pretty short, so it's not being stressed. I don't think you can really see, but that is why the bumper is just kind of sitting under the vehicle at this moment, but it works. There's the 2 wires right there. So yeah, otherwise I would get the bumper out of my way, but I guess it's really not too big of a deal. You have to undo all these bolts on the side, pull the bar out, and then this actually is inside this mounting area, and there is a bolt there that you access from underneath, and there's one other on the side. Now I did not want to take the time to take off that little plate, so it just bends over really easy. I'll bend it back, not really a big deal to me. So anyways, that's off. We'll get the other side off now, and then we can get the new hitch on. All right guys, so I was tightening down these nuts here, and I realized, you know, these gaps in the bumper here are just a little too big, and so the bottom flange of this nut kind of goes right into the edge of that. So I decided to add some washers, so I went out and got some grade 8 washers to add to this, so hopefully it keeps the nut from kind of going inside the hitch holes here. I think they should have added these, I think, to their kits, but that's all right. There's no mentioning of washers in the instructions, so that's all right. I guess these flanges, I mean, they do grab a little bit, but for the little flare outs, but these will help quite a bit. All right guys, so as you can see, it's all mounted up here very nice and tightly. Our next step is one, they want you to bend this tab up all the way. I only bent it up just a little bit so that I could hang my wire there for the rock lights, and then to cut out the area for the hitch. And as you can see here, we already have a little bit of one for the last hitch, so we're just gonna have to widen it this way. That's where that tab connects to that hole right there, so we'll widen it on that side and maybe a tad bit on this side, and then it should just work just fine. So we'll use a Dremel for that, and then the bumper will slip right on, right over this hitch right here, so it'll work perfect. All right, so the bottom of the bumper was cut. I'm gonna skip putting the trim around the edges. I don't think it's too necessary, but as you can see, you still get lots of clearance. Now here's the stock wiring, which still does work. I'm gonna have to figure out how to mount this. I'll work on that, but I'll just hang it somewhere for now. We'll figure that out in a bit. But bumper's on. Just snap the bumper all the way around, and we'll get the headlights back in and all the bottom pins, and then we're done. Get the tires back on and everything, and should be good to go. All right, the wheels are getting put on, bumpers are back on, all the clips are in, and we should be good to go. We're gonna drop it down and project's done. One thing I need to do is, for some reason my blinker isn't working, so I'll hop in there and figure something out here.
Well, there you go. In perfect unison.
All right guys, so that's it for me. If you guys enjoyed the video, please thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe. It's totally free and it helps me out quite a bit. This again is the EcoHitch from Torque Lift, and once again, I highly recommend it. See you guys in the next video.